Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are live. This is going to be a fun one. Mets versus Cardinals just wrapped up. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for coming on to the live stream. I appreciate you. And we about to get this show on the road in a minute. All right. So we got that on there. And we about to get the cam on. Yes, sir. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Mets Life. I am your host, Rompe, and The Mets just finished wrapping it up here against the St. Louis Cardinals. And there's so much to talk about this series, about where the Mets are, about how this is all going. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on. But I just want to say, if you guys are joining me from the You Gotta Believe group on Facebook, thank you guys for popping in. I appreciate you guys. The love that you guys have shown me has been absolutely tremendous. And thank you guys for stopping by and showing some love. So the Mets beat the Cardinals. They split the series. They win the road trip. That's important. That's significant. They win the road trip against the St. Louis Cardinals and the Philadelphia Phillies. 4 wins, 3 losses, and it doesn't even feel like it. That's the crazy part about this whole thing. It doesn't even feel like we've won. It doesn't even feel like we won. It feels like we have lost 30 games in a row. It feels like this team can't get their head out their asses. It feels like this team cannot do anything. Case in point, the St. Louis Cardinals were awful. Their relievers were awful. Every single one of them were awful. The starter was awful. I mean, they walked the entire ballpark. But that's not even the worst part. The Mets left 17 men on base today, which has been the problem for this team. And the frustration is starting to show, but we know that this team is right there. This team, much like last season, at the top of the National League in average, at the top of the National League in on-base percentage. That's where it stops. There's no power in this offense, and the line does not keep moving. We're getting 2 hits per inning, and nobody's coming in to score. It's not about blowing teams out. It's about the simple fact that we're not getting the guys to cross the plate. And the biggest culprit of that entire thing is Francisco Lindor, our $341 million man, has not been hitting. How bad has it been? Well, before coming in today's game, he was 0 for 23. Today, he goes 1 for 3 with 3 walks. He only left 3 on base, though. But that's not the worst. I think his last at bat, he got a hit. I'm sure. I don't know. But he goes basically 1 for 27 in the last 7 games. That's no bueno. That's not good. 1 for 27 over the last 27 games. But a lot of Met fans were pointing this out on Twitter, on Facebook. They were pointing out that basically, right? Let me pull this up. So basically, they were pointing out the fact that Francisco Lindor has done this before. It was talked about on the broadcast as well. On Monday, Gary Cohen said that this isn't the first time that Francisco Lindor has gone on a really bad offer, right? That's what we want to call it. That's the term that we use in the baseball world. A really bad offer. And the last time that happened was in 2016. Now, if you guys aren't, baseball fans, or, some fans, when their team is not in the postseason, they kind of just shut everything down, and, that's basically what happens. So let me just catch you up. In 2016, Francisco Lindor was an all-star, platinum glove winner, which basically means he was the best defensive player in the entire American League in 2016. And the Cleveland Indians went to the World Series. Yes, that World Series. The World Series that the Chicago Cubs won. The first one that they won in, I think, 108, 109 years. And they won that World Series. 2016 World Series. That was the last time Francisco Lindor struggled this bad. But there's a difference in 2016 Lindor struggling and 2021 Lindor struggling. Besides the fact that there's $341 million involved, right? Because that will always be the talking point. The same thing happened with a lot of guys that the Mets have signed. A lot of guys, a lot of infielders that the Mets also signed to kind of, be that, keep that infield going. For example, Carlos Baerga, Roberto Alomar, those to name a few. There's been a couple others, but Jason Bay is the one that comes to mind. Now, last time on Monday, I said that this isn't the same thing. I'm not going to dig into Jason Bay's numbers because, quite frankly, I don't care about Jason Bay. I don't want to even hear the name Jason Bay ever again in my life, to be honest. But that is the comparison that is being drawn with Francisco Lindor and this whole entire thing, right? So let's fucking dig into it. Let's see what's going on here. What the hell is going on with Francisco Lindor? So in 2016, Francisco Lindor went 0 for 24. He did that in September of 2016. Now, mind you, the entire season was already played. He was already an all-star. He already put the majority of his numbers up. This was basically at the end of the season, which, damn it, you want to kind of compare the two. See, it doesn't make sense. Does it mean he's going to come out of this? Oh, yes, it means he's going to come out of this. Of course he's going to come out. He has to come out of this. This guy is the best shortstop in Major League Baseball. I understand he's not putting up the numbers right now. But if you look over the span of his career, 2015 to now, let's put 2015 to 2019, that 4-year span, one of the best shortstops in the game, all-star every single season. I'm not lying. I mean, there's a reason this man got paid $341 million. But he ain't playing like it. That's just simple facts. If we're going to be New York with it, he ain't doing shit right now. And it's bad. So again, in September of 2016, he went 0 for 24. The dates were from September 17th to September 28th. Here are the numbers. He scored 3 runs, no hits, no doubles, no triples, 2 RBIs on 10 walks, struck out 6 times, and stole a base over 9 games. Right? Right. Right. So, that's over 9 games. His current slump is from April 28th to May 5th. The numbers are 2 runs scored, no hits, no doubles, no triples, no RBIs, 6 strikeouts, and 3 walks over 6 games. Practically identical. But here's the difference. His slump came at the end of the season. So he put up the majority of his numbers. Made the All-Star game. Was already Gold Glove caliber. Was already putting up those numbers defensively and offensively. Right? So here are his numbers before September 17th, 2016. 93 runs, 179 hits, 28 doubles, 3 triples, 14 home runs, 70 RBIs on 44 walks and 82 strikeouts. Went 179 and 572 at bats, right? Well, that doesn't mean anything, right? Because he already put those numbers up. So that doesn't match up with what he's doing now. It doesn't match up with how bad it's been right now, right? So if you guys are currently watching on the Facebook live feed, don't forget to head over to the YouTube Mets Life, and don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell to get the notifications. If you guys are on the YouTube currently right now, don't forget to hit that bell, subscribe, get the notifications when we're here. Help me, help you. Let's help each other. Back to Francisco Lindor's numbers. So again, doesn't mean anything. He already put up the majority of his numbers. You saw the numbers he put up, but before that happened. Right? And this is before he became the Francisco Lindor that earned him $341 million. This was before that. This is year 2. 2015 was his rookie year. 2016 is when he started doing this, right? So it was very early in his career, right? But it was the last time he went on a long offer. So let's put into perspective what the season looked like. Well, did he have any other offers? How many times did he, not get any hits in a row? Was it 3 games, 4 games, 5 games, 6 games in a row? Did he go, all right, boom. So in 2016, Francisco Lindor had no hits in 2 straight games 6 times throughout the entire season before going 0 for 24. He also had no hits in 3 straight games only 2 times in 2016. This was the last time he had an 0 for 20 something, right? It's the last time. It didn't happen in 2017. It didn't happen in 2018. And it didn't happen in 2019. So that kind of tells us, that lets us know that Francisco Lindor is going to turn it around. Obviously, he's going to turn it around. I mean, again, just like everybody else has been saying, he has to turn it around. There's just no other way around it. It's simple. There's no other way around it. He has to turn it around. So today, right? So basically he was 0 for 23, right? Over 6 games before today. Today, he goes 1 for 3. He walked 3 times, and he finally got a base hit. I don't recall what kind of base hit it was because at that point, I just wasn't watching the game. All these walks, the way the Cardinals were pitching, the way the Mets weren't scoring, I just needed to turn away from that because I probably was going to throw myself through a glass window. But Mets pull out the win. Diaz was back on the mound, did give up 2 hits, but did close the save, and he did throw 101 miles an hour. Good signs there. Good signs there. He hasn't pitched in a while, not since his back was hurt. So we don't know how his back is feeling. So the fact that he was out there getting in some work, that just is just a good sign for me, right? Does it mean he's, regular season Aroldis Chapman? No. You get what I mean? But nonetheless, he went out there and put in the work, right? Mets win the road trip 4-3. That's what you need, right? You got to break this season up in pieces, right? If you sit here and you worry about today and you think that tomorrow the world is going to end, you're not going to get nowhere. You're going to panic. You're going to drive yourself absolutely insane. So, the way I like to look at it is, obviously as an athlete, you got to turn the page. That's a must. That's 100%. You have to turn the page. If you do not turn the page as an athlete, you never get out of it. Right? So as a fan, we got to kind of remind ourselves, like, we're diehard. We live for this. We want to see the Mets win. There's so much hype behind this team, right? That we, something's got to give, right? Like, come on. We got to start breaking away from this. All right, let me just put this at a little bit of perspective for you guys, right? Because we're striving to be is more like the Dodgers. Yes, like the Yankees as well, but personally, I don't want to be like the Yankees. The Yankees are that team that they know how to win in the regular season, right? They'll struggle a little bit. They'll look like they don't know what they're doing, and then they'll come back, and then they'll win 100 games. And then when the postseason comes, they'll fight. They're bulldogs. They'll fight, but they have no results. They do not know how to close it out. They do not have that killer instinct. Like, we're going to close it out. We're going to win this. We're going to get this done, right? Clayton Kershaw had that reputation for a very long time. Wasn't a good postseason pitcher. Always got shelled in the postseason. The Dodgers never made it anywhere, right? And this was during the height of his prime, mind you. We're talking 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. Like, these years where he was winning Cy Youngs and MVP awards, he couldn't close it out in the postseason at all. So, it kind of makes you think like, okay, but since then, the Dodgers have been dominant in the postseason. They've went deep in the postseason since 2016. They've gone deep in the postseason. They made it to the NLCS in 2016, right? Fought their butts off, but the Cubs were a better team, right? Then what happens? Since then, they go to the World Series in 2017. They go to the World Series in 2018. They lose both times. In 2019, they got beat by the Nationals. What the hell was that? They got beat by the Nationals in 2019. Right? Then, in 2020, they win the World Series. So, look at that, right? 17, 18, 19, 20. 4 straight years, the Dodgers are competing to go to the World Series. That's what we're striving for. Now, on the Yankees side, since 2017, they lost in Game 7 to the Astros. In 2018, they lost to the Red Sox in the DS. In 2019, they lose in 7 games to the Astros. And in 2020, they got beat by Tampa in the DS. Right? Yes, they're competing. They're there. They're in the mix. They're doing the damn thing. But they're not winning. The Dodgers, on the other hand, they're winning. So, my point in case is, you want to be like LA. You want to win. You want to be in it. These are the expectations we have. Obviously, these are the expectations we have. We want to be there. So, in order to do that, in order to achieve that kind of success, the best case scenario to kind of compare this season-wise is the Yankees. In the beginning of the season, they were awful, horrible, weren't winning, were losing series after series, swept by the Tampa Bay Rays, not playing good against the Baltimore Orioles even. It was a struggle. But Yankee fans were panicking. Everybody was like, oh my God, Aaron Boone is about to get fired. There's no way he's staying on this team if they don't make it to the postseason. And I'm going to be honest with you. The Yankees will win. They will make the postseason. But if they don't, Aaron Boone is going to lose his job, which is absolutely ridiculous. But it's going to happen because that's New York. That's New York. That's how it is out here. If you are not performing the way you're supposed to perform, you get canned. Chili Davis, perfect example. Mind you, this team, top 5 in average, top 5 on base percentage, suck when it comes to getting the runs in and scoring runs. They're garbage, horrible, awful, don't even deserve it. But guess what? He got fired. Now we move on. So, you got to look at this from pieces. Piece by piece by piece. You look at April. You throw April in the trash. It was horrible. It was garbage. You turn the freaking page on the month of April. It is what it is. It happened. It's over. It's done. Right? Starting off May, you got to be in a better position. You start off May, you're 3-3, you take it, right? Just take it. I mean, that's the best you could do, right? You won 2, lost 2, you win 2. So what, 4-2? 4-2 to start May? I'll take it. I mean, you take it. You got to take it because if you don't, then that's what happened. No, actually, it's not 4-2. It's 3-2. Sorry. My mistake. 3-2 to start the month of May. Oh, no, actually, lies. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. We split yesterday. We beat. Yes, 4-2 to start the month of May. You take that and we move on. Take that and we move on. You feel me? Like that's what has to happen. Because if you sit here and you dwell on that, listen, 13-13, we're back to 500. We got the Diamondbacks coming in, and you worry about them. You know, Francisco Lindor is gonna be all right. Yes, we saw a lot in this series. The VRs came out in big fashion, especially Kevin Pillar. Right? Kevin Pillar came out in big fashion, did what he had to do. We're going to see more of him in the future. And in my notes, I kind of wrote down here, because he was the hottest player. He gets player of the series, honestly. 5-game hitting streak. He went, I don't know. Let's see. because he was 9 for 17. So I think he had how many hits today? He had 1 hit and 4 bats. So, yeah. So he went, what, 17, 18? No, 17. He went 9 for, I think it's like 20 or 19. 9 for 19, 9 for 20. But the guy hit 3-something with runners in scoring position, scored a lot of runs, 5-game hit streak. And it brings me to the next point. Is Dom in trouble? Is his playing time in trouble? Now, Dom was able to drive in some runs late. He went 1 for 4, struck out twice, drove in a run. He left 4 on base today. McNeil left 4 on base today. Those are not good numbers, man. I don't like that. Conforto kind of went backwards when he went forwards. He went off on the Phillies series. The whole entire series, he only left 2 men on base. This series, backtracked. You cannot do that. You cannot go from, a 3-game series only leaving 2 on base to, going back to leaving more men on base in this series. Though he did draw his walks, but everybody walked. Clearly everybody walked. 11 walks today from the Mets and 11 strikeouts. That's not good, man. It's not good. The approaches, the swings, it's not working, dogs. It's not working. The swings aren't working. We got to fix that. We got to fix these swings. We got to get the bats going. I believe that they will because, again, going back to the whole Yankees reference, the Yankees are hot now. And it only takes one guy to really go off. Who is that guy for the Yankees? Giancarlo Stanton. Guy's on a homer streak. Guy is going off. That's exactly what needs to happen. Once one guy is extremely hot, once one guy gets that hot, it's contagious. That's one. And it just translates into better offensive numbers from your hitters. We're getting guys start warming up. They're getting warm, and then they just get cold. We're not heating up. We're not getting hot. We're getting warm. And we need to get hot. You feel me? Alonso, one of the better hitters that we got so far this year. He's putting up identical numbers to 2019. The only difference is in 2019, he had 9 home runs. By now, he only has 5. So, that's the only difference, but with the fact that they're deadening the balls a little bit, you can expect less home runs. Is that also a factor? They apparently juiced the balls in 2019. Now they're saying that now they kind of reduced that effect, so the ball is not traveling as much. So is that causing guys to start slumping more? Probably, but you can't dwell on that. You can't dwell with the ball has changed. The ball didn't change. This or that. You can't. You're a professional baseball player. You're making money. You got to produce. The frustration with Francisco Lindor is fans aren't wrong to be frustrated. Now, booing him doesn't need to happen. Saying he sucks and he needs to be benched for the rest of the season doesn't need to happen. What we want to see is him succeed. But by benching your players every single time and giving, think about this logic. I've gotten fans saying we should bench Lindor and put VR for the rest of the, until, well, how is Lindor supposed to figure it out if you got him on the bench? And you're not going to sit down $341 million. I'm sorry. I don't care how hot VR is. You get what I mean? So that ain't happening. He's not sitting. And I said it today. People like, oh, maybe he should sit down, come back tomorrow at home. No. Lindor is not a guy who likes to sit one. If he's healthy, he's going to play. The guy averages 150 games a season. Only last year that didn't happen because it was a 60-game season, but he played every game. That tells you the kind of competitor he is, and you like that in a guy. I remember Jose Reyes, one of my favorite players of all time. When he used to go on slumps or he used to struggle or something was wrong with him, something would happen with him, he'll get hurt, he'll be out of the lineup for a while, and then he'll come back. But he's one of the perfect examples when it comes to just going on these streaks where it's just pop-up after pop-up after pop-up after pop-up, bad swing after bad swing, after you want to freaking punch Jose Reyes in the face because it's like, hit the damn ball. And that's pretty much what's happening now, you know. But Lindor is a far better player than that. And I love me some Jose Reyes, one of the best shortstops I've ever seen play that position. But, you know, Francisco Lindor, when he's on his A game, is a different level of hitter, defender, guy in the clubhouse. I mean, you see with the struggles, he's still a good clubhouse leader. He's a guy that's going to rally his guys and be behind the team. That's the kind of guy he is. And we got to kind of start understanding that, listen, he's our guy. We got to have his back. You know, sort of like the way the Yankees are with Gary Sanchez. And I'm not saying Lindor is Sanchez, but look at the kind of respect they have for him. You know, that's what you want. You want guys to trust their players, and you want to be behind them. And you as a fan base, booing crazy hard is, listen, it comes with the territory. It's New York. We're a tough crowd, yes. But, you know, in a day and age where I thank God we signed him to the contract we did, because imagine if he was a free agent. I swear to God, in this first month and change alone, I guarantee you he would not want. That would have changed his mind about wanting to come back or not. And I know that would have been like, well, that's a weak mentality, weak mind. But some guys are like that. I'm not saying he's like that. I'm just saying, imagine going into the season without that contract, him being a free agent at the end of the year, and he's struggling the way he is now. Oh my Lord, have mercy. I tell you right now, I don't even know what it would look like if Lindor was struggling in that manner. I wouldn't even want to pretend to know. It's like, but that he's gonna turn it around. You know, the clubhouse is a good bunch of guys, and we're gonna figure it out. And you know, you gotta look at the bright side. A successful road trip. Yes, you wanted to win more games. Could have won more games. Could have had a lot more games won. If you look at it, a lot of one-run losses. That Monday game was a perfect example. What the heck was going on here? You knew it was going to be that kind of game, especially that Sunday game with Philly was the same thing. It's like, what the heck is going on here? You know, the Saturday game against Philly was basically what it was, right? 2-1 loss, and that's how it ended. Nothing more, nothing less. Freaking error. That was it. That's all the Phillies needed to win. And then the Friday game was, look, basically, right, because I'm probably getting the scores mixed up, but what I'm trying to say is 4 of 3 on the road, come back home. We face the Diamondbacks. We got 2 against the Orioles, so basically a 5-game set. We got to, continue to do more of the same before we go face Tampa, which is going to be a tough team, and then Atlanta, which is going to be another tough team. Hopefully we figure it out at home, because the Phillies are getting hot, and you know how it goes with them. So we got to change that narrative, change it around. All right, looking ahead to Arizona. A couple key names, household names for the Arizona Diamondbacks: David Peralta and Ketel Marte. For their careers against the Mets, specifically Peralta, because he's played more against the Mets. 21 games, 7 runs scored, 16 hits, 2 doubles, 3 home runs, and 7 RBIs. All that with 11 strikeouts, coming in with a 254 batting average. So that's a name to keep in your mind. Sort of like Paul, not like Paul DeJong, because DeJong was a different kind of guy, right? DeJong, Paul DeJong is a Met killer, bro. Met killer. And that, that's how that whole thing worked out, right? But David Peralta is not a Met killer, but he hits very well. And he's playing good this season. Ketel Marte is the other household name. Has made a name for himself, though this season he's not playing as well. Batting average is 200 with 12 strikeouts against the Metropolitans. So those numbers aren't good, but things happen. He does have a couple home runs against the Mets. And that's pretty much all recent. So his good numbers are recent, say within maybe the last year or two. Overall, the Mets are 17 since 2015. Since 2015, right? That was the last time that the Mets were, that they won 90 games that year. So we went from that year to now, right? Which is like 6 years. The Mets are 17-17. Versus Arizona. In 2019, we swept them. 4-game sweep. That, with the 9/11 thing, which was dope, right? That was the last time we played them. That was awesome. That was amazing. So at home, we're 11-6. On the road, we're 6-11. So kind of, flip-flop. That's how it happens. Arizona is more of a hitter's ballpark because of the altitude. So Arizona players, they'll play better in their ballpark. It's sort of the same like with the Rockies, Right now, for the season, their best players are Eduardo Escobar, Carson Kelly, I think his name is Josh Rojas, Peralta, who's having a good year again, Asdrubal Cabrera, former Met, who every time he plays, it seems like he goes off. So that's another name to look at. And a rookie, Smith, center fielder, and he's actually performing very well. So that's what's expect from Arizona. I do not know who's starting for them tomorrow night, but we know that David Peterson is on the mound for us, right? Zach Gallen is going to be the starter, so we face one of their aces. D-backs are 15-15 for the year. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but you just hope that the Mets can pull out a couple victories against this team, because it's going to be tough. to keep, with the 50-50 stuff. But we go back home 500. Hopefully we can pull a couple victories out the hat so we can go ahead and, do what we do. Second place in the division, 1 game back of the Phillies. The Phillies are, I hate them. The entire division is basically 500 right now. Washington is the only team that's been losing. I think they've been facing Atlanta. So Washington lost their last 2. Atlanta won their last 2. Atlanta third place with a 14-16 record. Washington is in 4th place with 12-14. Atlanta in 3rd place, 14-16. Miami in 5th place with 13-16. The Mets are in 2nd place, 13-13, and the Phillies are in 1st place, 17-15 record. And basically, if you look at the entire National League, the Dodgers, defending World Series champions, they're 17-15 right now. You think that team is going to be that bad the entire year? Possible. If guys don't come back healthy, if guys stay hurt, if they keep slipping and falling. But they have a tremendous pitching staff, and they should not be losing as many games as they are because they still have a good team. Mookie Betts is still healthy. Corey Seager, pending free agent, still healthy. Third baseman actually putting up MVP type numbers. Former Met is healthy. The Dodgers will turn it around though, because that's what we all believe. They're one of the top teams in the league. We know it. I've already explained what their last 4 years have been like, right? So that shouldn't tell you anything different than what they're going to do now, right? So 17-15 is their record. San Francisco is the surprise. 18-13 for the Gigantes. 2-game losing streak though. So, it happens. San Diego, who went back and forth, and I think the battles between the Dodgers and San Diego took a lot out of LA. LA kind of, put the smackdown on San Diego when they played in San Diego, but when they went back to LA, Tatis went absolutely bananas and just stuck it to the entire Dodger rotation. Hit 5 home runs in that entire series. 4 games, 5 home runs. Bananas. Insane. Again, Arizona, 4th in that division. 15-15 is their record. Colorado, the worst team in that in the entire National League, 12-19, a 6-game back. Obviously, new GM coming in. They're gonna definitely trade their prize shortstop. And the Yankees again are the team to look for when it comes to that trade. Why the hell the Yankees matter, I don't know, but that's how they move. That's how they operate. Central, again, we just faced St. Louis. They lost their last 2, so they're 7-3 out of the last 10 with the 18-14 record. Milwaukee just lost 5 in a row, got swept by the Phillies. 17-15 is their record. Chicago Cubs 15-16 is their record. Cincinnati 14-15. Pittsburgh 13-17 is their record. So again, Arizona is who we play tomorrow. Series for the weekend, we don't know. I think Jake is supposed to come back for that series. That's what we're hoping. We know Zach Gallen goes tomorrow. We don't know who's I'm thinking if I got my mind right, because I saw a graphic during the game today, is David Peterson for us tomorrow. Lucchesi, we don't know if it's going to be a bullpen game or not. He goes Saturday, which is weird, but he did pitch Monday. So that's his day. So Saturday is Lucchesi, and then we should be going back. So the expectation is David Peterson, Joey Fuego, and Jacob deGrom on Sunday against the Arizona Diamondbacks, a 1:10 p.m. start. Matt Harvey, the Dark Knight is coming back. Matt Harvey's coming back. He's coming back on Wednesday, I believe. That's the last thing I heard of that. He should be back on Wednesday. Let's see, guys. Let's see what happens. A very winnable homestand coming up with Arizona and the Orioles. I think we can win. I don't know if we can go 5-0, but I would love to go at least sweep the Orioles, but they played us very, very tough last year. And I believe they'll be very, very tough on us again. But we're hoping that they go, we sweep them. We sweep them and then take 2 out of the 3 against Arizona. So that's 4-3 on this homestand before we go on the road. We got Tampa, Atlanta, Miami. Not too far, not too much mileage. So guys shouldn't be too tired because everything is pretty much in the same area. Let's see what happens. Definitely, absolutely, nothing to worry about now. Don't freak out. Yes, leaving 17 men on base is crazy, but you know me, I'm the super optimistic guy, so I like to look at things from different color shade glasses. So believe in the hope, because absolutely there's hope. This team is good. This team is way too good to play the way they've been playing. Which is funny because they've been winning. They win some, lose some, and they're back to back, right? That's where they're at right now. That's pretty much how they roll. The hope is that we have a good homestand and we come out on top from this. I know I've repeated that a couple of times, but that is the hope. Again, guys are struggling. Pilar, my player of the series. VR, close second. He had a very good series, though. Made an error with the glove today, though. I mean, was it today or yesterday? I don't know. But definitely those two guys really showed up. Tomas Nido showed up yesterday. They actually came up with a name for themselves. I think they call themselves the Bench Mob. So we're gonna get those t-shirts ready. Those t-shirts are gonna pop up some way, somehow. So the Bench Mob went off this series, and we're hoping that the starters just start clicking. Because basically that's what it is. Once they start clicking, it's going to pop off. It's going to pop off. It's going to pop off. So day game Mets, they win. Very, very happy about that. You could put it in the books. And 13, right? Some people, they say it's a lucky number for them. Other guys say that it's not a lucky number for them. We're just hoping that it's a lucky number for us and we can continue with the success. Again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining me on this May 3rd of the Lord's year 2021. And I hope that we can go ahead and, again, end this. I've said it multiple times, end this homestand on a good note so we could go ahead and start being happy about this team again, start rooting for this team, and start laughing at the losers. Again, trust and believe in Uncle Stevie Cohen because, you know, he's the man. And trust, we got to put our trust and faith in Sandy Alderson and Scott as well. We know that it sucked that Chili Davis is not here, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and we're trying to do what's best for our business. So in order to achieve that, we have to, deal with some of these tough times. So again, guys, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm your host, Rompe. This is Mets Life because this Mets for life. You know that already. And thank you guys. Don't forget, if you guys are brand new here, subscribe, hit that bell to get the notifications every time we're live. We will be live again next week. Off days. So we'll have tons to talk about. Possibly we'll have some guests, but we're definitely going to talk about where the Mets are. We're going to recap the Diamondback series with, we throw up some highlights, talk about some key moments. That's on Monday because we have the off day there. On Thursday, we're going to recap the Orioles. So on Monday, we're going to recap the Diamondback series and preview Baltimore. And then on Thursday, we're going to recap Baltimore and preview Tampa. And also talk about what happened in those two games and Matt Harvey. Talk about Matt Harvey on Thursday. So again, guys, Books number 13. Keep the faith. It's going to be all right. This is what happens in the season. It's a grind, 162 games. If it was a 60-game season, then there would be panic. But I guess that panic kind of translates and it carries over and everybody's heads is in a blender. So take your head out the blender. It's going to be all right. And don't forget, guys, to hit that subscribe button. That's it for me. I'm your host, Rompe. And again, don't forget, hasta mañana, folks.